Hey, hey, how's it going? Good? How's it been so far? If you can hear me, give me one of these. All right, great, perfect, awesome. And we got a presentation. This is gonna go great. So my name's Healey Cypher. Uh, Super stoked to be here. Photographers hate me, by the way. I'm the CEO of a company called Oak. And Oak believes in the future of retail being a software-defined future. But what that actually means is tech that serves humans, not tech for the sake of tech. And so we believe that tech comes second, and the human experience is the reason you're in a store. Who here, by the way, has been shopping in a physical store recently? Okay, great. And oh, here's one. Any guess on what percentage of commerce is still in stores versus e-com? Any guess? E-com is only 7% of all commerce. Most of shopping takes place in stores. So anyway, my history is I used to be the head of retail innovation at eBay. We had a secret lab where we did a bunch of cool stuff, like this for Toys R Us. You know, we often found people walking into Toys R Us knew who they were buying for, but no idea what to buy them. So we made a gift guide. It was pretty cool. Bunch of little fun things. So like 55 inches and beneath were little fun things for kids, and the parents would be up top doing their important thing. We launched these window shops for Kate Spade Saturday, which is kind of a fun story. So Kate Spade Saturday came to me and they said, hey, we want to open up our first store in the US. What should we do? And I said, well, what if we do something crazy? What if we make your first store the entire island of Manhattan? They're like, what are you talking about? So we rented out the first 6 feet of 4 locations around Manhattan. And if you know the city, it was Lower East Side, Flatiron, Meatpacking, and Soho. So pretty different neighborhoods. And anything you saw in this window, you could have delivered to you for free within an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by using the existing glass, which we turned into a touchscreen using this stuff called touch foil, which makes the front of the glass into a touchscreen. And it was delivered by these really hunky male models on bikes, you know, so they cruise in, they give you your thing. But what was amazing about this was actually the thing the press didn't pick up on. And that was, see that little black box on top of the screen there? Little black box? That, we were shooting out an infrared web onto the sidewalk. So we knew exactly how many people walked by, of them, how many turned and looked at it, and of them, how many then went and touched it. Incredible data before they opened up their stores to get a sense of traffic and engagement and things like that. So this is kind of freaky, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. We could actually tell Kate Spade the heart rate of the people walking by because we could see the veins moving in their neck. That's some good marketing ROI information. We launched digital storefronts at Tom's and Sony and Rebecca Minkoff. We made these really cool interactive directories. If you've been down to Stanford, maybe you've seen them. The whole idea was, you know, if you're using a normal directory today, it's kind of a crap experience. You're like, oh, I'm looking for Tiffany's. You know, jewelry, well, fine jewelry. It's in B2 yellow, and you're like, it's east? You're trying to find the sun in the sky to figure out where you're going. And so this was really simply a 3D environment that pulled you in to exactly where you were and where you were looking, and showed you how to get somewhere. And the coolest thing about this was we actually found, so we timed it. When people used a normal directory, it took them 46 seconds. When they used ours, it took an average of 15 seconds. And they pushed it to their phone for turn-by-turn directions. So it's faster than a static experience, and we learned a ton of stuff. Like, the most browsed category wasn't women's fashion, it was food. Which is kind of interesting, right? Like, you buy your iPhone, and then you're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry. So you look for food. And then finally, we launched the Rebecca Minkoff Connected Store experience. So why did we do this? The reason we did this, and the reason we started Oak, is because this is a photo of a department store in 1916, and this is the photo of a department store in 2016. So 100 years later, what can we say has definitively changed? We definitely have color cameras. That's about it. But customers, as we all know, have changed a lot. And in the future, as a retailer, if you wanted to grow your top-line revenue, what'd you do? You put down a bunch of stores. So this is a true fact. In the US today, we have 46 square feet of retail space per every man, woman, and child. That's like my first apartment in New York. Where the next closest, by the way, is the UK. So in the past, you were competing on proximity. Stores are close by. Selection, they had everything, and it was a really good deal. But today, as a retailer, you're competing on experience. What's that experience going to be? Is it a coffee shop? What's the urgency like Zara? You can only get this right now. And I want to assess it. Right? I want to try this coat on. That's why I go into stores today. And it's really hard to figure out what the experience of the future is going to be. This is a real noodle on the New York subway. Like, come on. Anyway, so we know customer expectation changing. Phones are changing everything, right? Everyone has phones. Everyone has tablets. And in fact, this is interesting. In the US, we have 22 million people in the US. The only way they access internet is on their phone. They're completely smartphone dependent. And something very interesting happened in the second quarter of 2013, which was we, for the first time, sold more smartphones than feature phones. So what this means is if you're under 35 on the planet, there's a 1 in 4 chance the first time you ever access the internet, it's on your phone. It's amazing. And here's a crazy stat that I just found last night that's really cool and true and has awesome animation. Every second, we sell 5 times more smartphones than babies are born. Every single second that I'm blowing out hot air, that's happening. It's insane. So, quick poll. Who here woke up with their phone as their alarm? Yeah, right. We all do it. And what first thing you do, you check email. Phone usage peaks around now. I'll get a little boring in about 30 seconds. You'll probably look for a little Facebook, a little Instagram. Tablets peak, afternoon, you're in bed. Actually, another poll. Don't answer that. I think all this slide actually says is that 25% of people are liars. And on average, we use our phone 150 times a day. And it sounds like a lot, but think about it, right? Check your time, it's your notification, it's LinkedIn, it's Facebook. We're using it all the time. And retailers often worry about this thing called showrooming, which was people walking into stores and finding cheaper prices online and then buying it somewhere else. But the reality is, more people actually do a bunch of research ahead of time and then go into the store. Because we're busy people, right? Like you want to get it. And what's interesting is if you look longitudinally at where consumers are, people who do a bunch of research ahead of time and use an interactive experience in the store, this is crazy. The chance they convert is 86%, and the average basket lift is 40%. Customers are already there. Remember the first time I saw it. Have you guys seen that California SNL? What are you doing here? So what has retail been doing? So often it thinks of these 3 screens, thinks of mobile and tablets and desktop, and it forgets what I would argue is the most important screen of all, which is a physical store. When you're in the physical store, there's nothing that's going to beat that. You're completely immersed with people and with products. So what's been happening? Okay, well, the first thing was Burberry. It opened up this big flagship on Regent Street in London. Had 120 screens. This was like 4 years ago. And this middle one, see that big, the like hunky dude playing the guitar? That's 20 by 10 meters tall. It's cold to the touch. It's called laser phosphorus. And to run that whole thing takes as little electricity as a hairdryer. Pretty cool. What customer pain point was it solving, though? I don't know. I mean, you see a bunch of runway shows, and if you want that, well, guess what? Only 10% of that's actually made and being sold in the store. So maybe it's causing a little more problems. We've seen empowered associates. Everyone, I'm sure, here has been to the Apple store. It's amazing. They don't even care about selling you anything. They're just like, yeah, here's how you use it, and they'll teach you. And if you want it, they'll check you out right there. And this is going to be a big part of the future. We've seen customer tools. So this is, okay, Starbucks app. Everyone's used that? Yeah. No? He's like, no way, ritual only. I got you, brother. They process $1.7 billion every year on the Starbucks app. It has nothing to do with e-com. And Cartwheel, which is Target's tool, it got 13 million users in 2 years. The whole idea was you show a QR code when you check out, and if there is a coupon in the store, it applies it. Why wouldn't you use that? It's free money. Well, why does Target do that? Now they know exactly who you are and everything you're buying every time you go into the store. They can target you incredibly well. That's a good verb choice in an accident. And where we are now is people would rather use their own devices than talk to someone. In fact, half of customers think they know more than associates do, which might be true. Interactivity in stores, it's getting very, very common. More than 1 in 2 people want some sort of interactivity in stores. And now we're at this place where we have a smarter store. And there's a store called Hointer. Anyone heard of Hointer? Okay, so here's how it works. You walk into the store. There's 1 pair of pants for every style all over the store. And they say download the app. And so you download the app. And you tap the different pairs of pants. And then it goes, and you say, 31 by 32, or, okay, fine, 32 by 32. And it goes, good, go to fitting room 4. You go, fitting room 4? So you walk into fitting room 4, and you close the curtain, and in fitting room 4, there's 2 little holes in the side of the wall, and one says in, one says out. I'm not making this up. And in the in chute, the pants just start piling up. So you try on the pants. If they fit, you like them. If not, you put them in the out chute. The moment the out goes, it's gone from your phone. And then it says, are you ready to check out? And you go, yeah, I'm ready. Press checkout. And it goes, you're free to leave. So you just leave. That's the whole experience. I mean, that's proof of the intelligence. I don't think it's a great example. I don't want stores to be like that, but God, think of the intelligence there. And what's also fascinating is think of some of your favorite brands that started online. Warby Parker, Bonobos. How do you know when they've made it? And they're doing really good. They open up physical stores, right? And the ones who haven't are dying. And the ones who stayed online only, fab.com, One Kings Lane, they're not around anymore either. So I say don't do tech for the sake of tech. Think of an online session like an in-store session. When you walk in, that's your home screen. When I look at products on shelves, those are product pages. When I bring things into the fitting room, that's like a cart. And when I check out, that's like checkout. So it should be that easy. So what we build at Oak is this. We call this Oak Mirror. And the way it works is it's a beautiful mirror. You walk into the fitting room, and the fitting room senses everything you brought into the fitting room. And the glass turns into a touchscreen. You change the lighting, you change the language. It shows you other sizes, colors, and recommended items that are in-store guaranteed, and you ask for it. When you ask for it, it goes to an actual associate who's generally pretty good looking. And when they respond, it shows the associate's name and face. So you're not dehumanizing commerce, you're rehumanizing commerce. And that associate, by the way, sees not just what you've asked for, they see everything else in the fitting room. Say, hey, here's that blouse you wanted, but I think these pumps and belt would really go with what you're looking for. If you need me, just tap. I'm a tap away. So there's no more like, waiting with your pants off, trying to figure out if they're going to come back or trying to find them. We launched this with Ralph Lauren. We now have, I think it's 13 clients across 17 cities around the world, and the results have been awesome. So we've seen 84 out of 100 people use this meaningfully, change the lighting, change the language, request things. The average basket lift has been 59%. Yes! So I get a little excited about it. And what's really crazy is people are spending 40% less time in the fitting room, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but it's so efficient. If you want someone, they come, and they know exactly what you asked for. And if it's not in the front of the house, it goes up to the back of the house. And so what's crazy is all the stuff we know now. So I know things you think that I'd know, right? I know how long fitting room sessions take and how many people go in there and conversion rates. But now I can tell the retailer the conversion rate on every item of clothing. These things go into the fitting room all the time. They get bought every time. But these lady pants go into the fitting room. No one buys them. Well, why not? Well, they're asking for a size up. They're asking for a shade lighter. That's data I can give them. And the other thing that we started to grab was service levels. How long did it take when someone asked for something for that thing to enter the fitting room? So I remember I asked the store, I said, how long would it take? And they were like, 3 minutes max. And I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Like everything over 2 minutes feels like twice as long. So 3 minutes isn't bad. It'll feel like 4 minutes. So we actually got the data, and we were like, I don't know how to break this to you. The answer is 6 minutes and 15 seconds. and can be as bad as 18 minutes. Can you imagine standing with your pants off for 18 minutes waiting for a piece of clothing? Well, maybe don't do that, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bail. And so we built this tool that was the stockroom tool that would just simply say, hey, here's what they want, here's where to get it, and we're going to start timing you. And we took that average fulfillment time down from 6 minutes and 15 seconds to 1 minute and 39. By the way, the conversion rates are incredible. And so then what we started doing was actually getting some artificial intelligence into the mix. So now the store starts watching how things are moving around the store. And if we see an item that starts to move a little too fast, it tells the people to put things in the front of the house so there's no lines, there's no wait. Because 47% of people, if they don't see a size they want, won't ask for help. So now all of a sudden you walk into the store and you realize things are just easy here. I don't know why. There's no lines. Everything I want's right here. And so we think about this world of technology and retail of kind of two buckets. You have explicit tech, like the fitting room mirror, and you have implicit tech, which are the things that maybe you don't see as a consumer, but the store is really intelligent. It's just easy. I really like how this feels. And this is built on what we call the Oak operating system, which is a point of our entire company. And then what I'll end with, since this has been a lot, is you'd be really surprised why tech fails in stores. It's the most boring reasons. I mean, how many times have you been to a store and it's like blue screen of death, or it's just like a monitor, and you're like, oh, that's embarrassing? The first reason is infrastructure. The Wi-Fi goes out, the internet is slow, or the electricity spikes. That is the number one reason tech fails. The second is, well, the associates just don't care. They don't want to do it. And by the way, they won't, unless it makes your life 10 times easier and 10 times more efficient. And then finally, often people do what I call launch and forget. So they're like, oh yeah, we got this sick experience, it's alive. Where's my promotion? And they never look back. And so what I tell retailers who I consult with a lot is, the moment you launch, realize that's the middle. And from there is the real learnings. You're not doing projects, you're doing products. And that's important. Then of course, focusing on the right metrics is incredibly, incredibly important. We say if you're not doing something that acquires customers, makes them convert, or retains them, you're probably wasting your time. And that's it. Thanks.